Hey, it's Jeff. Finally got the modular together. I've been working on this for literally a year and just recently assembled the modules into the racks. It's not ready to demo yet because the oscillators still aren't calibrated, and I'll be doing that over the next days or whatever. But I just wanted to do a quick video and show you folks what I've got here. There's 40 modules, 39 of them are Behringer, there's one that's not. And of the 39 Behringer, 38 are from the System 55. Before we get started, just quickly go over the case. The top three racks are Behringer skiffs that I've got connected, and the bottom is in a walnut Eurorack case. And then I built a small pine table to hold the three Behringer skiffs. And before we start, just one last thing. Some people name their rigs, some people don't. I decided that I was going to call this Thunderchild. For those of you who are familiar with H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, you may remember that the Thunderchild was a steam battleship which took down two of the alien tripods. I recently reread it, and I only recall it taking down one, but Wikipedia says it takes down two, so I'm going to go with that. I like the name, not just because of its science fiction reference, but also because of kind of what it says. Child, not as much youth or an age thing, but rather size. Small but mighty Thunderchild. To start going over the modules, as I said, there's 40 of them. We start out upper left hand with the 921A oscillator driver. Then I have two 921B oscillators. Continuing to the right, we've got three 911 envelope generators, and I have a CP1A power module. The difference, for those of you who don't know, there's a lot of the modules that are prefaced with CP. On the original Moog modules, if you looked at like the big ones like the System 55 or 35, you would have noticed racks that weren't 5 units high. They were smaller, maybe 4 or 3, I'm not certain. They were control panels, and their model numbers were CP something. So the CP stands for control panel. When Behringer cloned everything, they didn't differentiate in size between the control panels and the regular 900 series module. So that's why you'll see them side by side on a Eurorack system. Anyway, so we got the power here. I have to have one in each row because I don't have powered racks. Then I've got a couple of 994 multiples. These are not, I actually have 4. You'll see them on 3 different racks. There's supposed to be one on each rack. That didn't work out. I'll go over that in just a moment. These are not powered. So if you put in some, well, depending on what you put in, you could have some degradation of your voltage because they're not powered. And these are kind of superfluous if you've got, well, some other modules have multiples. There's multiples down there. Also, if you have cords that have multiple inputs, or you have splitters, it serves the same purpose. But they look good, and I do have some flexibility. I can get rid of them. If I had another like 8U module to put in, I could take these two out and replace them. So next we have the 903A random signal generator, and then we go to filter section. Here we've got the 904A low pass filter, 904B high pass filter, 923 filters. Both have low pass and high pass. These are just one pole each, 6 dB. And then over here, it's a Behringer filter, but it is not a 900 series. This is a Filtamp Module 1006 ARP 2500 clone. Moving over to the next rack, we have another 921A and 2 more 921Bs, just as above. And then we have 3 control voltage amplifiers, 902s, followed by another CP1A power and another 994 multiple. Got spacers here, exactly 1.5 HP wide. I had a 3 HP space here, so I was able to plug that up. And then next to it, we've got a 911 dual trigger delay, followed by a CP35 attenuators. These are powered attenuators. Next to it is the 935 attenuators. These are unpowered attenuators. And then next to that, lastly on the row, is a CP3A -O oscillator controller. And on the next row, we start with a 992 control voltages. Looks a lot like the CP3A-0 oscillator controller, but it actually serves a different purpose. And yes, I have two of them. I have one on each end. Next, we have a 961 interface, followed by a CP3A mixer. And then next we have the CP1A power again, 994 multi, another 3 HP space here that I plugged up with two spacers, another mixer, CP3A, and then we have two more oscillators over here. These are 921 oscillators. And on the very bottom in the wood case, we have the 960 sequencer. Next to it's the 962 sequential switch. Here's our CP1A power module, and next to it is the only non-Behringer module, an A106 SEM, which is a filter. And the question might come up: why did I put the SEM filter down at the bottom? Well, some of you may know that the Behringer skiffs are not quite as deep as some other Euro-rack skiffs. Of course, Behringer skiffs are going to fit your Behringer modules, but not necessarily modules from other manufacturers. So when I got this and I was going to put it into the top, actually I was going to put it right next to the 1006 because it has a similar color, I found that it was not quite going to fit. So I had to put it down here, which in the walnut case, that's 6 inches deep, so that's going to fit anything. So I had one of the 994s on the bottom, as well as the random signal generator, so I brought those up to the top and swapped the filter down at the bottom. And next to that is a 914 filter bank, fixed filter bank. It's a very cool thing. You don't see those in hardware synths very often, so I'm very interested in looking at that. Have to forgive me for being in the cellar at this point. I literally don't have a table at the moment that I can put this on in my studio. So looking forward to having that and having more footage shot while we're up there. And until then, we'll see you the next time.